Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas, and I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, and I'm always here helping women entrepreneurs, especially creative entrepreneurs, to find that balance in life that people find so elusive, so that we're trying to make sure you have the life that you enjoy while you're also running a successful business. Today, I have a wonderful guest for you, and I can't wait for her to get into what she does and how she can help you, especially as a service-based business. Today we have Ashley Alleyne, and she is a former school psychologist that pivoted into a full-time entrepreneurship after only being in business for 9 months. So we are, as entrepreneurs, we know that leap, that journey. She is the founder and the CEO of Overwhelmed to Organize Virtual Assistants. And that is a virtual assistance agency, of course. And she specializes in letting entrepreneurs focus on what they do best by delegating time-consuming tasks so they can step into their CEO role with confidence. So, as a work with ease coach, of course, I'm so excited for Ashley to be here and to talk to us about being more organized and delegation. One of the small, the hardest things for entrepreneurs to really wrap their head around, because it's our baby and we're so scared of letting go. So Ashley, I'm glad to have you here, and I can't wait to get into this discussion with you.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to get into all the nitty-gritties of delegating and, releasing control.
That beautiful word, control. So Ashley, start off by just telling us about your entrepreneurial journey. Like, how did you decide, you know what, I'm going in this direction? We all have that moment that,
Yes.
makes us pivot.
Yes, and to be completely honest, entrepreneurship kind of came to me. Like growing up, I was taught you go to college, you get your degree, you get a good job, and you work 20, 30, 40 years, and then you retire, right?
Right.
College was non-negotiable, at least in my household. And I wasn't the first in my family to go to college. It was just, something that you do. So as I got older, post master's degree in school psychology, I started listening to podcasts. And one of my favorites is Earn Your Leisure. So listening to them, getting to know more about business and entrepreneurship, and I'm learning all these things. And one of the things that really stood out to me was when they mentioned that you will never truly be free as long as you work for someone else and someone else controls your finances and how much you're able to make. So that's something that stuck with me. I was like, they're absolutely right. So the wheel started turning, and I'm like, okay, what can I do that I'm already good at? What business can I start? And that's when I really started taking a closer look inside, like, okay, what are my innate skills? What am I good at? What am I passionate about? And how can I translate that into a business? And then I learned what a virtual assistant was. And as a school psychologist, I have to be on top of my emails. I have to be checking my messages because teachers are reaching out to me like, can you come check on this student? They're having a meltdown. They need you, right? I was doing mandated and at-risk counseling at a middle school, 7th and 8th grade. So we already know that age group.
Active.
So everything is a crisis, right? So I have to be attentive. I have to be on the ball. I have to schedule my counseling session. So I have to be aware of my calendar. I have to follow a schedule. I have to run meetings. I have to schedule meetings, right? I have to meet with teachers, deliver feedback, give deliverables. So thinking about all those transferable skills, it was like, okay, I can start a business doing this, right? I know a lot of my friends are entrepreneurs. They're extremely overwhelmed. They don't have that support. They're their admin, their creative marketing team, their social media manager, et cetera. And the list goes on. And admin always, almost always falls to the wayside. And because of that, entrepreneurs aren't really able to scale their business because their house isn't in order. So I come in, I support entrepreneurs as their virtual assistant, and you focus on the main thing, right? Let the main thing be the main thing while I handle your back end. I make sure things are still running smoothly. If you need to handle a family emergency, if you're going on vacation, guess what? The business is still running. So full circle moment, I just leveraged my skills that I already had in my 9 to 5 to start my business.
And I mean, there's so many different things that I like as you're talking, I'm like, oh, 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 so many points that ping to me. But one that I want to, definitely capture is the idea of transferable skills. And just even being able to assess what your skills are, because a lot of times what I see is, people that are wildly talented, but they may not realize that some of the things that you do every day are transferable skills that you could be offering in a business as a service to someone. um I mean, I had a client tell me, I just like to be in your brain space. Like, just the way you think, that is a skill. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's just the way my brain works. But because it's something we're naturally good at, like we tend to assume that, it has to be hard
Mm-hmm.
for us to put a dollar amount to it.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be something that's unique to you, or unique to a smaller group of people. It's something that people are willing to pay for. So it might
That's
not be it might not be hard. It might be something that is really easy, and best case scenario, something that you really enjoy doing.
right. And the thing I think what holds us up is that we don't see it as our superpower. And it's just, I've been like this. Like
Right.
I've been my whole life. But the reality is like, no, that's unique. Not everybody has that skill. Not everybody has that superpower. And you can leverage that to make money. And oftentimes our superpower is so ingrained in us that we're like, oh, I don't know if I should charge for that. But it's like, God put that in you,
Right.
for a reason, make it work.
And it's typically something that somebody else don't want to do.
Right. They don't want to do it and they're willing to pay for it.
Right. And so, just bringing that back to the idea of value, making sure that you're valuing yourself, making sure you're valuing what others do. And I mean, sometimes I think, and I'm sure you've seen this with when it comes to administrative tasks or things that are, supposed to be easy, but they're not to most people.
Right.
Um, People can downplay,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, and I would love for you to talk more about just the idea of the time that is freed up by someone else doing something that is challenging to you. Yes, you can figure it out. Yes, you could go watch a YouTube video, or you could sit here for 3 hours putting together this Excel spreadsheet that will take you like all of 15 minutes to do. Yes. But I mean, wouldn't you want those, 2 hours and 45 minutes back?
Right. You would think. But even so, how I like to think of things, it's more so like, okay, what is your zone of genius? What is your zone of competence versus what is your zone of incompetence, right? That's on a more advanced level. But all that means is, yes, you can check emails. Yes, you can reply to your emails. But at the same time, let me check my email real quick for 5 minutes turns into oh, I got hundreds of emails that I need to get through. And now you're sitting there 50 emails in, like, I was only supposed to do this for 5 minutes, and I look up and it's been 2 hours. So now you get completely sidetracked when you had a totally different plan on what you were originally supposed to be doing. So that, for example, is something that can fall into your quote unquote zone of competence, right? And all that it means is something that you can do, but doesn't mean that it's something that you should be doing, right?
Right.
What I like to do is let me focus on that zone of competence for you, because that's my zone of genius. And your zone of genius is being the creative within your business and doing the thing that you created your business for, right? If you created your business to serve your clients at the highest level, doing whatever industry that you're in, that's what your main priority should be, while you know that the back end and the emails are being responded to, those customer service requests are being replied to, your clients is still moving through that funnel that they're supposed to be doing, right? Making sure that your clients schedule their meeting on time because they didn't schedule their meeting and you needed to reach out to them, right? Those are the things that I'm doing when you could just focus on that client delivery.
Yeah. And from a person who is, there are a lot of things that are within my skill set, right? But not necessarily that I want to be doing. Let's put it like that. So from a person that has transitioned from, I have to do it all to, what? Let somebody else do it.
Hmm.
Um, I want to just point out just the not just the time freedom, but the mental load
Hmm.
that you're carrying by not letting go.
Hmm.
When you're holding on to stuff and not delegating those tasks, then your brain is constantly, people have that they have those memes of people, the business owner mind, and they're like up at 3 in the morning. And I like to get my sleep.
Okay. My full 8 hours.
I like to get my sleep. I really do not enjoy thinking about, what event is happening 4 months from now at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I want to be able to go to sleep. And if I know that I have systems in place or people in place that are handling those things, then I can let my mind could just think about the clouds outside right now and enjoy that and choose when I want to focus mentally on the business.
Absolutely. And like you hit the nail on the head, right? It's a mental capacity that is so liberating to experience if you have not experienced it. And you open your mind up to all the possibilities, all the new ideas that you want to generate and execute on for the business. And as the creative, as the CEO of your business, you're the visionary, right? You know where you want to take your business. You know what business goals you want to accomplish. And the only way you can do that is if you free up this mental space, because admin, that really weighs on you and it really takes a toll, because you might have to skip a meeting. You might have to skip a networking event. You might have to skip doing something that you actually want to do and would rather be doing, because you have to do X, Y, Z, or your business cannot function. And it's unfortunate that you're going to end up missing these opportunities, when simply because you weren't ready to release control just yet.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just yes, and I mean wholeheartedly understand the control part. I'm a raise my hand. I get it. I understand it, but at some point we have to, make that shift if we want to be able to scale. If you want the business to grow, you can't hold on to each and every piece of it. And I can remember a conversation I had with a friend recently, and they were struggling with something with, it was something going on with the accountant in their business, and they were struggling with it. And, we had a conversation about it. And I have a tough love side of myself. And I finally, just after we talked about it for a minute, I was like, look, you're not good at math. That's the beginning. I mean, we going around in circles, but at the end of the day, you're not good at math and you keep fighting to be able to do this math. let the person that's good at math do it. Let it go.
That's it.
That learning curve is not worth it. There's some things that we as business owners, can learn, need to learn. We need to know enough to know that we're hiring the right people and all of that. But sometimes certain things that's not your
Right.
thing. That's just really not your area of expertise, your zone of genius. Let it go. Somebody out there does that thing.
Right.
And this my next question. I'm a hesitate as I ask it. Not for you, not for me, but for the toes that's about to get stepped on.
Okay.
Investing in
Say it. Say it. Say it.
investing in leveling up.
Mm.
So I can't afford to pay someone to fill in the blank. And the reality is you can't afford not to, because in the end, it's costing you more in time.
Bring
You
it
could
home.
have been there already.
I'm gonna pass me the baton because I'm ready.
You could look. I just didn't want. Look, sometimes people be like, I don't want to hurt the people, and I'm like, look, I step on toes at
Listen,
least once a week, so I will step on the toes on your behalf. But Ashley, here's the baton, girl. Please talk to these people about investing.
listen. We have to get to a place where we value our time more than we value money. And oftentimes it may seem like we value money more than we value time. But if I were to give you $1 million today, but you had to die tomorrow, would you take the $1 million? Right?
Right,
Or would you say, nope, I want my time. I want to continue living.
right.
So if your answer was you will not take the $1 million, that means that underneath it all, you actually value your time more than money. I say that to say the return on the investment that you are going to get will almost always, I would say almost always, supersede that original investment. So when you pay someone and you invest your money into someone like a virtual assistant to start handling your day-to-day tasks and activities, you now free up your time, you free up your ability to create, and you free up your ability to grow and scale your business to new heights, right? Oftentimes exponentially, because those few hours you were spending on admin tasks, now you could be on sales calls, closing deals, hiring, like, sorry, not hiring, gaining more clients, right? Selling to more customers, creating new products, perfecting your product, perfecting your service, right? Perfecting your process on how you want to grow your business. So when you actually have that time to sit down and dedicate to your CEO task, that's what I like to call it, that's when you're going to see the return.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you need to be focused on income producing activities.
That's it.
And you can't focus on income producing activities if you are still, sitting there putting stamps on thank you cards and and reading every sales email that comes across you're not putting yourself in a position to do that.
Right.
And that's the biggest and fastest way to scale your business, is to be able to think about that big picture, be able to spend time and energy on what that big picture looks like. But when you are, these are cuss words over here, booked and busy, you are constantly just trying to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no time to vision. There's no time to grow. And when you're bogged down like that, the other thing is you make bad decisions
Yep.
because you're tired, you're cranky. I mean, think
Mm-hmm.
about when you have a busy day,
Right.
not to mention a busy week, life, year, but think about when you have a busy day and how you feel during that day and how you're off your game, and you might snap at somebody because you hungry, you tired, you this. If that's how you're operating constantly in your business, you're missing opportunities. You are not thinking about the future because you don't have time. You're just trying to get all the tasks done before the end of the day.
All the
You know,
boxes.
check all the boxes. There's that feeling of isolation because it's just you and you carrying it all on your back, and now you mad with the world. We didn't do you nothing. Like, all of those things, but there are other options. You can make different choices, and sometimes we have this mindset of, well, I'm not there yet, or I can't afford to do this thing. But I'm a big believer of, you have to invest in the level that you want to achieve. You can't
100%
invest, at basic.
account. Don't invest with in the mindset of what your bank account currently looks like. Invest at the level that you want your bank account to become, right? Because if you want
Correct.
people to invest in you and your services, you have to be willing to invest in other people and their services, right? You get out, you get what you put out. And if you're walking
Absolutely.
around,
And people feel it.
yeah,
As consumers, we feel it. When you're
yeah,
cheap with your business, we feel it. We
mhm,
like, wait, I know
right,
you didn't just ask me for X X X X X X X. And
right,
you sitting up here like you pinching pennies like that. You feel it in
right,
how it moves, how it operates, how it feels. And then you wonder why I can't capture that big client.
right, right,
You have to show them that you are a big fish too.
right.
And you can't show them that if you sitting here trying to do all the things and trying to make sure nothing, you coming out with every name tag on. I'm the accountant, I'm the I'm the bookkeeper, I'm the lawyer, I'm the doctor, I'm the.
Right. And you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said, like, think about when you have a busy day, right? This what I'm about to say next also might ruffle some feathers,
Ruffle
some
them out. Look,
feathers, like you say.
you have been invited in, and you can ruffle all the feathers.
So I'm a big believer that multitasking is a myth, right? It does not work. It's not a thing. And we're so like in this hustle culture when it's like,
Whew.
it's you don't have to operate in that way, I promise you. Because the people that are at the top, they have slow mornings, they're chilling majority of the day, and they know when it's time to put in the work as a CEO. And that's the point where I want us as entrepreneurs to reach, where we're fully operating in our zones of genius, fully operating in the things that we love to do, fully operating in a way that grows and scale our business. If we are so focused on getting everything done for the business in every aspect of the business and multitasking, you are dropping the ball somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know, all of us can say that from experience. Like, when you are building and you're getting there, it's like, oh, wait, oh, it's like, did I leave the oven on, basically, of your
Right.
business? You know what I'm saying? It's something that, falls through the crack. And I can remember being up at night and thinking about, like, wait, you have that thought pop in at 4 o'clock in the morning. Did I ever respond back to so and so, or did I do this? And when you shift that energy to make sure you have systems and people in place for those things, you don't think about that anymore. I don't think about my client interactions because it's all automated, so I don't think about that anymore. Like, I don't have those thoughts. I have free space where those thoughts used to be.
Right.
And you can you can't dream if there's no space in there.
Right, you can because your mind is just going to be always on go that you can't even think of that next idea that can generate $1 million for your business. You can't. You can't execute on it because you definitely don't have the time for a
No.
fact. And you
No,
can have all of these grand ideas, but if you have no time to execute on them, what good are they?
it that's it. Because it's just like, that's a great idea. Okay.
I get to it when I get to it. Next
Okay.
year, baby.
Or you, because you're so used to that grind mentality, you try to throw that idea and 12 more in at the same time, and everybody's like, this business is kind of schizophrenic. Like, I don't know what's happening right now, because there's no order to it, and you're just
Right.
jumping at things as they come. You're
Right.
putting out fires as they come. There's no order, organization, and then you're talking about you overwhelmed. Then it's like,
Mhm.
well, yes, obviously you are. That makes absolute sense. And you are not, like you said, you look at these other CEOs, high level, and that's not how they're operating,
Not
and you have to emulate what you're trying to achieve. So if that's not how they're operating, how do you think that you're going to hustle
get
and
to that level.
grind your way there?
Right. To that level. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. It does not
Like,
work that way.
I've never in my life seen Oprah sweat.
Okay.
Find me a picture here. Find me one. she
Say
just
that.
look like there's air conditioning everywhere she goes. Like, I mean, no stress, just I've never seen it.
Right.
So we have to realize also that struggle is not a part of the package.
Hello.
You could buy it as an extra accessory if you want. It's a choice, but it doesn't have to be a part of the process. Like, there's going to be work involved, but work
Yes.
and struggle are
Are two
not the same thing. Grit don't do anything for your bank account.
that's gonna upset them.
It's it's
Mm.
just real. It's just real. Like, it's not like when you're in high school and you get extra credit. There's no extra credit. Like, in business, there's no extra credit. Like, you do it, if you do it the right way, the easy way, the way that's been proven and successful, then you will see the results. You could do it the hard way and you might see results too, but you got so many battle scars that you never needed to have.
Or it's gonna take you so long to get to the result that you might give up along the way and you might
Right.
change course.
Right. You living all my life I had to fight. You didn't have
You
to.
have to. You chose to.
You chose that life. Somebody was out there with exactly what you needed to get to the next level, but you chose to say, "Oh my, well, I'm not going to pay somebody for that." Oh, okay. Well, you have fun.
Right. And that also goes to investing in mentorship and coaching,
Oh,
because that's
yes,
also
Jesus.
allowed me to quit my full-time job within 9 months of starting my business because I had a business coach and I was a part of membership communities where there's other women entrepreneurs like me growing and scaling their businesses at exponential rates. And we're all sharing ideas with each other, sharing what it took to get there. I'm going back and forth with my business coach. Okay, how do I do this? What do I need to do next? I'm a very much, you don't have to tell me the stove is hot and Imma touch it. I believe you the first time.
Look, I can learn from your mistake.
I can learn from your mistakes. Tell me where I need to go. I don't need to go the long route. I don't need the scenic route. Tell me what you did, the mistakes that you made, and what you learned so that I can go and take the easy route. I will pay for that every single time. Every
100%. 100%. So I have two businesses. I have a balloon decor business. I have a coaching business. When I started the balloon decor business, it was just like it was kind of thrust upon me, and it was just something that grew. And I did it the hard way. And along the way, I came along with, resources and coaches and, what have you. But for a very long time, I did it the hard way. With the coaching business, I was just like, nah, it don't have to go like this. I don't have to do this all over again. Like, I'm
Right.
not doing this. And I invested in coaching and I invested in, help and everything that I needed to get where I needed to go, because I didn't need to go the 10-year route again. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense. And I understand going in that thought process. I get it, and I get the mindset of I can't afford this. But again, investing is, you can't look at it like this costs this much. I'm investing this in my future.
Yes, and you're
And
investing in you. You're
you're
investing.
investing in you. And when you have that mindset shift and you start doing that, like you said, it starts moving so much faster. Not saying that you're going to be an overnight success. There's still
Right.
work and groundwork that you have to put in to a business. But if you can tell me, you know what? I know back in the day, people used to get on the carriage and the horse and buggy, and they used to travel across the country. I don't know how many years it took them to get from one side to the other, but they have these newfangled things called airplanes, and they can get you there on the same day in a couple of hours.
Hello.
So you want to get in the horse and buggy, or you want to get on the airplane? Like
Is that
that's
simple?
the options.
Is that simple? And
It's that
I
simple.
want to stay in the breath of mindset, because that I had to do a lot of mindset work in order to, get to where I'm at in my business and making, larger investments. And it is not easy. There took a lot of unlearning that I had to do and a lot of reframing my thoughts. That was the biggest thing for me. Like, little things like I'm so dumb, I'm stupid, like these are the things that we're telling ourselves, or I can't do something, or oh, I don't know how to do it. And when you start telling yourself that a number of times, you begin to believe it and you begin to show up that way. Right. So it took a lot of, when I make a mistake, I can't say, oh my God, Ashley, you're so stupid. Like, even those little things, you don't realize how many times you say it to yourself throughout the day, and we subconsciously believe. So when it comes to affording making, certain purchases, certain investments, I had to stop saying, oh, I can't afford this. Instead, you can say, how can I afford this? Right? That subtle change, that subtle reframe really trains your brain to think of alternative ways in order to make enough money so that you can afford the thing. Because best believe Beyonce is in concert, right? And
Right.
we out here saying, "Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna I don't know how I'm gonna pay these student loans, but I'm gonna make a way to go see Beyonce. Where she's at? What's the closest city to me? Okay, do I gotta fly there? Do I gotta drive my car? Do I gotta take the bus? We figure it out because we want to go see Beyonce, right? Because the transformation that's gonna happen in concert, that's valuable to us. So is your business valuable to you?
Right.
And what are you willing to do in order to afford the things that will help you grow your business, like investing in help, investing in coaching, investing in mentorship, right? And the biggest thing for me is that mindset reframe. Like, how can I afford this? Oh, how many clients, if it's $1,000 investment, right? How many clients do I need to have to cover that cost?
Correct.
That's a different level of thinking. Okay. If you could sign 5 out of 10 clients from going on 10 sales calls, and you got to pay your virtual assistant $1,000 a month. Okay, I need to sign 2 clients this month to cover that cost. That
Right.
sounds a hell of a lot easier than I'm looking at my bank account and I don't know. And you so stuck and fixated on that number where you closed off your mind to even think of all the other possibilities of how many products do I need to sell to cover this investment. So that mindset shift is going to take you a long way.
No, that is absolutely huge. And I want to kind of just double back to what you said about just how we think and talk to ourselves. Because I'm a very, very big believer of I never say negative things about myself. Um, Not saying that I can't say where I have shortcomings or where this, but I never say negative things about myself. If, if you can't control what the world gonna say, do, think, right? But I can control what I allow in my space. And if I'm allowing it in my space through my own mind, through my own mouth, through my own thoughts, then I'm allowing it in through other people as well. So I am very conscious about how I talk to and speak to myself. And I love that reframe. I love that reframe of how can I?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with, investing anything. How can
Hmm.
I?
Yep.
And I think a lot of times when we do talk about money and financial, because there's always that, like, the fear of numbers, whether it's affording something, whether it's actually being accurate and looking at our bookkeeping, whatever that is, there's always that fear in numbers. And I look at it like it's a strength in numbers,
Mm.
because when you have it laid out in black and white, then it just becomes math.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, it's going to take 2 clients for me to be able to afford this. It's going to take, 6 clients for me to get to my, goal and make sure all of my bills are covered. If I can
Right.
get to 10 clients,
Right.
then I have a surplus. Once you
Right.
can put that math to it,
Right.
it gives you a different sense of power, but it
Mm-hmm.
also gives you a different motivation, because I found when I'm focused on those numbers, I move a little bit different.
Mm.
I
Same.
move a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, all right, I gotta hit this so I could, okay, all right, I'm look, I'm at 3 now. All right, I didn't pay for this now.
Right.
I can,
Right.
if I could hit 4, I could go buy something, if
Right.
I
Okay.
hit 5, so
Right.
it can become empowering, but it's those investments. And sometimes, sometimes you gotta be a little lean to afford the thing that is ultimately going to get you to the next level. So if I know, like, we mentioned before, if I know, okay, it's going to take me 2 clients to pay for this virtual assistant, but guess what? If I can get that up and running, I can free up 10 hours.
Right. A week at minimum.
Right. I was about to
Mhm.
say a day, you know what I'm saying? But, I could free up depending on what you're doing and depending on where
Yeah.
you're getting stuck, because there's some people that are at intermediate level at a task, right? They can do it,
Mm-hmm.
they can handle it, but their efforts would be much better served revenue wise somewhere else.
Yep.
And so for those people, it may be just 10 hours a week, right? Because it wasn't taking them that long to do that task, but it still is taking away time.
And 2 hours that adds up.
Right. It
That you could
adds
be
up. It
spending working
absolutely
for
adds
something
up.
else.
But then you have the person that you struggling to turn the computer on. Let that go. That is not your ministry. Like, it's just not your ministry. And it's not, again, like you said before, it's not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, don't beat yourself up because you're not good at a thing.
Right.
Just give it to someone else who is.
That's it.
Because it's not a indictment on you that you're not good at that thing. That wasn't the thing. When the Lord was giving out gifts, he didn't give you that one,
That's it. Mm-mm.
but he gave you some other ones.
Right.
So the person who you are turning that over to, they may be sitting there. You know how many people, I'm a weird unicorn that is like dabbles in both
Mm-hmm.
analytical and creative. But do you know how many people I deal with on the analytical side that are like, I have zero creativity. Like, that is not my like, that's not my lane. Don't put no glitter in front of me. I'm not interested, because that's not their gift.
Right.
So it's okay.
It is. It is totally okay. It's okay to know your limits, to know your expertise, and to move accordingly.
That's it. Like, and sit in it and don't feel any kind of way. Like, just
That's
don't.
yeah,
Like, there's certain things, like, I know that if I want to, I could sit and learn how to, program the remote or put the stuff, new things on my phone or whatever. I could.
right.
It's within the realm of things I probably could do. But I met me before, and I know that I'm gonna just start clicking on stuff. And then by the time I hand my phone to my husband and say it's broke, he gonna say, "What did you click on?" I'll be like, "I don't know. I just stuff popped up and I clicked." Whereas he's gonna sit there and read the instruction manual.
See? Mm-mm.
He gonna go through all the steps. He gonna do the things that you're supposed to do. So you know what I do when I get something new? I hand it to him straight in the box.
That's
Here,
it.
make it work. Go. Because I've met me before.
Okay. Right.
And I call them cheat codes. When you know
It is
how
a cheat
you
code.
are,
It is. It is.
then you create cheat codes for you to operate in your best operational state. So you know how you are. And I know what I don't feel like doing is sitting there and going through my books. I know how to do it.
Right.
I know how to set it up. I had something happen, a glitch with the system, and I was like, it's broke now. When I went to tech support and I was like, how do I fix this? And they were like, you have to manually go in. And I was like, yeah. So
Mm-mm. It ain't gonna happen.
not gonna happen. So I found a bookkeeper. She cleaned it up for me. And like I said, I know how to do the part that I need to do. And she was like, well, we do this maintenance service. And I was like, ma'am, you want me to swipe the card here? Where exactly do
Exactly.
you want me to swipe the card?
That's it. It's that simple.
The
People
end.
pay to have their problem solved happily. Happily. And you have a solution that people are willing to pay for. They will happily swipe the card. Where, how? You accept Cash App, Zelle. Like people will be knocking down your door to pay you to solve their problem. And that is the energy that you need to have when you're looking to work with other people and to learn from other people and to invest in other people and their services. Because when you have that attitude, when you have that mindset, it will come back to you tenfold. And you always want to go into an investment. Okay, what do I want out of this? What do I want to achieve? Now that my time is freed up, what can I actually work on? What have I been putting off for X number of weeks, months, years, because I keep saying I don't have the time to do it. And now my time is finally going to be free. What can I actually start to work on and work towards that's going to actually move mountains in my business, right? So that I can get that full return investment. Is it creating your website? Is it finishing your website? Is it finally setting up that landing page that you've been wanting to do, right? So that you can start building out a funnel and get people to, buy a product or a service. So that's how you have to start thinking about it because there is some ownership on you. You don't just give your money away and say, oh, it's on you to fix all my problems. No, you pay the money so that you can free up your time or you can learn something that's going to ultimately help you move the way you need to move to take your business to the next level.
You said something that, oh Lord, I'm about to step on some tools. It's gonna be okay. Um, about not just giving your money.
Mm,
And I want to touch on that because what I've seen, what I hear a lot, and I've had, some people where, you know, I'm a truth speaker. So, if somebody comes in, oh Jesus, and they come and they won't have that vent, I hired this person and you better have all your facts and everything together and straight because if I know, it to be different, I'm going to say it to be different. So what I want to say on that is stop saying that people scammed you,
Mm-hmm.
when you didn't do what you were supposed to do, when you didn't do your due diligence to research who you were working with,
Mm-hmm.
when you decided to go with the person that said they was going, you know, just for a clear example, when you decided, instead of going with the person that said, I have a 6-month program, and over that 6 months I'm going to help you healthily lose weight, and you can lose 10 pounds in the 6 months, you want to go with the person that said that, I'm gonna help you lose 50 pounds in 24 hours.
Right.
You wanted to go with the pipe dream. You wanted to go with the person that didn't ask any questions up front, that you just threw your money at, and then you just disappeared and expected something to happen. Because I
Right.
see this happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, legitimate business owners that are invested in your success have processes.
Mm-hmm.
They have onboarding, they have questions, they have all these things, but those things feel like work. Feel like you got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't choose that person. You choose the person that says quick, easy, da 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 da. And then you mad because you didn't get the result
Right.
that you were looking for.
Right.
So I want you to vet people. That's why I bring people on here, because I don't just invite anybody in my house.
Okay.
I don't. They have to be some kind of connection, some vibe, something,
Right.
because I want you to see that there are people out here that are doing things and doing things in accordance.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have a certain amount of responsibility,
You do.
because you can't just sign up with somebody, throw some money at them, and then disappear and then expect that you're going to get the result. And don't, let me pause because I won't say this the correct way. Lord help me. Don't be that customer that you complain about.
Right. Oof. Say that.
Don't be the customer that you complain about. Don't be the customer. Well, I paid them X, Y, and Z, and all they did was they did the deliverable that they promised you.
That's it.
Know what the deliverables are. Know what the agreement is. You don't call them 24 times. Well, I know I asked you to create this flyer for me, but I also have, when you go do an event, I know a lot of my audience are, balloon decor artists. When you go do an event and they order 2 columns in the arch, and then they like, well, can you put something on the front door? Well, can you put something here? Well, does that not cost more money? Does that not change the scope of what you're
Right.
doing?
Of what we
Or
agree.
what if because this is another one, and this is my own rant. Don't put none of this on Ashley. This is just Danielle. If you walk in there with your balloons and they ask you to bake a cake, because that happens as well. I've had that happen
Right.
a lot with, web designers that I know. We have to get educated on what different roles are and what they do. A web designer and a content creator can be the same person, but they're not necessarily.
Right.
So they're designing your web. You still have to provide content. You still
Right.
have to provide images and all of those other things. So don't be mad with them
Right.
when they don't do something that is not in the scope of their work. So we have to be educated as business owners as we're looking for help, and make
100%.
sure that we're hiring the right people for the right things. And I would add, and this goes for hiring help as well as hiring physical staff, define what it is you want before you pick up the phone.
Yep.
Know what you want, because they can't figure it out.
Right.
They can help you figure it out, but
Yep.
they can't figure it out on their own. So it's just like, again, balloon decor, we get inquiries, and the inquiries like baby shower. You want to give me some more words?
Right. A little more
A
context.
little more. Because baby shower, you might want something, elegant, chic. You might want Winnie the Pooh. You might want a
Right.
safari. Like, I need a little more context. I could meet you halfway, but we have to learn how to be the type of customer that we will want to walk into our establishments.
100%.
And we just got to do better. And I just had to put that out there. I'm sorry. I had to have a moment, but I see it so much on social media. I see people, bashing businesses and this and the other. And I'm like, if you put yourself in the shoes of the person that you're hiring, how would you feel?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do better. We have to know that even though sometimes that price point may be a stretch, that person's skill set is worth every dollar. And it brings us back to that mindset shift of, I'm not just paying for you to type an email. I'm paying for you to give me my mental load back. I'm paying for you to give me my time freedom back. And I'm paying for you to give me the ability to be the type of CEO that can take my business to the next level.
Absolutely. And that comes with a certain level of responsibility on your end. So not only, knowing the type of support that you need, yeah, you may not know everything, but at least have a good idea of the areas where you need the support, right? We can figure out the logistics later. But also, I like to be very clear on deliverables, action items, and due dates. Those are things that are big for me because it helps structure how I structure my day and how I structure my team in order to execute on the deliverables for you. So ask questions, ask, okay, when can you get me this by? Or you tell me when you need this by, right? That's something that I always do with my clients. So just get very clear on what you need and what you want from that person so that that working relationship can be successful. And don't be afraid to give feedback. I always ask for feedback. So if something isn't going the right way, say something. Schedule a meeting, ask that person, hey, can we have a meeting? I have something I would like to discuss with you. Share your feedback. If things don't change, then that becomes a different type of conversation. But there's still a level of ownership on you. There's still, due diligence that you need to do. Ask the questions when you're getting on those discovery calls, sales calls, etc., and know exactly what you're getting into and exactly what you're agreeing to whenever you sign that contract with that person.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think the way that person even presents sets a tone. And that's for the ones, because I know that some people have, not knowing, signed up with somebody and it was a disaster, or the person took their money, whatever it was. Pay attention to the tone that the person sets. Everybody that I've had on here, every professional I've had on here that offers services to entrepreneurs, they all have a process.
Mm-hmm.
They all have a process. They all are like, well, this happens, and then we discuss this, and then they all have a process. If you're talking to somebody and it's just loosey goosey, and you know what I'm saying, like it's just like, uh, it's this much for a website. They got all kinds of websites. Like, so for you to be able to, we haven't had any discussion. Tell me that it costs this much.
Red flag.
That's a red flag. That is a red flag. So there are a lot of red flags that you need to be looking for when you are hiring people to do services for your business. And if they're not asking questions about you, about your business, about your specific needs, that's a red flag. Just put your money back in your pocket and just back away. So it was
Right.
nice meeting you, and just keep moving, because that person is just, you're just a transaction.
Mhm.
That person is not invested in the success of your business. So
Right.
be mindful of that. Be mindful of the things. You may not know all the answers. You may not know all the things about a particular field. That's fine. But pay attention to how that person is operating.
Mhm.
And, just the coach in me, I'm imploring you to also pay attention to maybe how you're operating,
Mm.
because a lot of times we are, we free spirits, so we out here and we're operating in that way. But understand, to a customer, that when they don't know what's happening, then you leave them space to make up their own ideas, right? Or to
Mhm.
let anxiety set in. If you're a person, me and anxiety have a little relationship. So when I don't know, I'm like, so what's about to happen? So like, I have 1,000 questions, but if you just straight up tell me this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
Right.
And
And you know
I'm
go
not
in?
stressed about it until step 2 don't happen. And I'm like, well, you had said step 2 was gonna happen. And it's 2 days later and step 2 didn't happen, and then nobody told me nothing or gave
Right.
an update. Then that's when I start to, have those thoughts. But if you are clear on your processes, it calms any nerves of the person that's dealing with it.
Mm.
And again, when you are, in a consumer relationship, you look for those things. When you are selling something, then you want to emulate the things that make you feel comfortable as a
Mhm.
consumer. So it's always a learning process.
Yep.
You take the things you learn and you implement them in the best way within your business.
100%.
So trying to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I like to go with the flow, and we've been having a very good conversation. Um What if you could name anything, what would be one misconception that you feel that people have about working with a virtual assistant?
Just like we spoke about, some of the people that I speak with, they either worked with a virtual assistant in the past and it did not work out. They've been burned. They did not get what they thought they were getting, so they're hesitant to, invest their money again. Some people, they are so accustomed to doing things on their own, whether that in personal life and in business, and they're very much, oh, I'm gonna just do it myself kind of a person, so that when it comes to trusting and opening up your business to a stranger, right, it is very scary. And I just try my best to show up as me, show up fully as me. And I pride my business on being just as invested as you are within your business. I want to see your business grow and scale, right? So that's something that I make sure I either demonstrate or say during those sales calls when I'm getting to know you and your business a bit more. So those are the two biggest things. It's either you've had help in the past, it didn't work out, or you've never had help and you're like, this is my baby. And I don't know, I don't just give my baby to anybody. And you're apprehensive about that. So those are the two.
And I think that it definitely takes a special temperament,
Hmm.
to navigate that. And this is
But
kind of
that
make me laugh a little bit, because so when you mentioned about being a former psychologist, my bachelor's degree is in psychology, and my grandmother would always tease me. She's like, you didn't pursue, psychology, and that's a whole nother story of why. But you didn't pursue psychology, but you use it every day. And psychology, and knowing people and knowing how to relate to people, I feel like is a big, huge advantage, because that there's that, part of that person that is working through letting go.
hmm
And so beyond the work itself, there's that part of you that has to say, it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay. And get them to that space that they feel that
Hmm.
it is okay.
Right.
And that's another a part that sometimes we skip over because we're so fixated on price, right? And I did a podcast episode a couple of weeks back about is affordable costing you?
Mm.
Because when people look for, I'm looking for so and so, and that's affordable. And I just scroll past whenever I see that because I'm just like, all right, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. But
Right.
I'm saying that to say like that mindset of we're so fixated on price, we don't always think about fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that person that you're going to get at that price, no disrespect to that person, but that person that you're going to get at that price, because you didn't even look at fit, will not be equipped to walk you through, because the journey is not about that email
Mm.
or that PowerPoint that you need to be created, or that ain't the journey. The journey is unclenching that fist that you have such a like, stronghold on every part and piece of your business.
Right.
And so that journey is much more about building trust and
Yep.
being able to slowly open that hand.
Yep.
And you're not going to get that for
Where
affordable.
or with every virtual assistant, right? So a biggest thing that goes back to my transferable skills, right? I am a licensed school psychologist, and my background is in psychology. My bachelor's was in psychology. My master's is in school psychology. And a part of that is knowing how to speak to people, knowing how to let people feel comfortable enough to open up to you, to share the vulnerabilities of their business, because oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we're seen as we have it figured out, right? Oh, our family is raving about it. My daughter, she run a business, and we want to keep up that facade. And it's hard to admit that, we don't got it all figured out. And sometimes I wake up and I'm winging it, and sometimes I'm just trying to get through this to-do list so I could get on with my business. So it's not easy to admit that to just anybody, and then to actually let someone into your business and to see it and to help you. So it's a lot of that trust building. It's a lot of rapport building. And what that looks like is, we're meeting on a weekly basis, right? I'm learning about you. I'm learning about your business. I'm learning how you like to communicate. Some of my clients only like voice notes, right? So we send in voice notes back and forth, via Slack. And it's just learning you as the person, not just as the business owner. And I'm showing up how you need me to show up, right? Because none of my clients are the same, right? So
Right.
I have to get to know them on a more personal level, at least a personable level, where I can show up for them the way that they need me to show up for. So if I need to over communicate with certain clients more than other clients, cool. Right. If I got to
Right.
tell you, I'm working on step 1, step 2 got a little delayed. I know it's due tomorrow, but step 2 is delayed, but I'm gonna get that to you by X date. If I got to do that, that's just what I have to do in order to make that client feel comfortable. And I'm willing to do that.
And that's a beautiful thing, and I think that's what separates, in any industry there are levels to it, and just to make this a little more relatable for my balloon people, we can't go anywhere without somebody saying, oh, well, my cousin do balloons. Okay, I'm sure. And that's no offense to your cousin. Your cousin probably does balloons. I mean, but there's levels to this. There's I just picked up some balloons from Dollar Tree, and I, run a business that pays for my life. Like there's levels to it. And the same thing is true when it comes to any other industry. And I mean, there's, you know, people could just wake up tomorrow and be a virtual assistant if that's what they wanted to do, but that doesn't necessarily make them, the most professional at it. That doesn't make them the right fit for you. So fit and deliverables should be the things that you're looking at when you're hiring, as opposed to price, because that price does not promise you you're going to get what you need. And I've seen way too many people go for that low price enough times that you could have just paid the person that was going to be the right fit in the first place. Like you didn't pay 5
Right.
people
Right.
$9.99. Like, I mean, you could have just you could have just put them all together, like, and
Right,
just paid the right person the first
right,
time.
right.
So again, that mindset shift, we have to hit that mindset shift of, getting what we need, not just worrying about what the price tag is, because that money's coming back. If
It
you
is.
if you invest with the right intention and with a plan, that money is coming back tenfold. Don't
Absolutely.
stress about that. I didn't have to shake some sofa cushions to pay some people. It didn't happen, but I knew that that was the investment that I needed to move to the next level. And it's always come back. It's always, grown my business, grown me personally,
Right.
accelerated. So,
Yeah. Don't
um,
skip the personal development, because that's the biggest piece of it. You have to be evolving. You have to be. You
oh,
cannot be the
Jesus.
same person that you were a year ago. You just not as an entrepreneur. You have to constantly evolve. You have to constantly learn. And you have to constantly remain a student of life.
Absolutely. It's gonna battle test you. It's gonna battle test you. It's gonna show you, it's gonna shine a light on parts of you that you was like, wait, what?
Right.
So it was just me. It was me the whole time. Like, it was okay. All right. All right then. All right then. I'm just gonna I'm gonna just go sit and work on that and just contemplate on why I need to do better. But
Right.
it's just a part of it. You start to, sometimes people say like you are transforming, or like, becoming something different, but I think you're becoming the most you that you've ever been.
Hmm.
Like, because you really are releasing like a lot of this like baggage and foolishness that other people have kind of dumped into your brain throughout life, and you're like, no, this is me. This is
100%.
me in its truest form. So yeah.
Yeah. Personal development is key. It's key to elevate you as a CEO into that
Yes.
role.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yes. And it's unavoidable.
Hmm. It's
We
gonna happen
look,
whether
we,
you want it to
we
or not.
try. But you be a business owner for long enough,
Hmm.
and those things are going to keep coming back up to you until you sit in them, deal with them, address them. And it's not always fun and cute, but the overall journey is so beautiful and so worth it and so freeing, honestly. um that is worth it. It's just like if you go into the gym, it don't feel good when you're in there. But
I don't, I promise you. But you're gonna love how you look though.
you're gonna love how you look. You're gonna love when you could go, walking up a hill and not sound like Darth Vader. It's got its benefits, but it's gonna be a journey to get there. So yes, I definitely love that. So I'm gonna wrap up because I know we could just go on and on and on. But this was a beautiful conversation, absolutely beautiful
I had a
conversation.
great time. This was so good.
So I'm gonna ask the wrap up questions, and then you can tell us about what's going on in your world and how we can stay in touch. So the first wrap up question is, what is your favorite pair of pajamas?
So I have these like satin pajamas. I love these. It's just so comfortable and I can breathe in it and I feel sexy. So these are my go-tos.
All right, I like it. I like it. I have a pair, but I always feel like I'm sliding.
It feels so good though. Like you be flipping and sliding with the sheets. That's my favorite part.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so my time freedom allows me to.
Travel and go to the gym in the middle of the day, every day.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I love just like, I feel like doing this right now, and I can. Like, I love that, because sometimes you just need that reset, and you just
Right,
like, you know what? I want to go for a walk, and I'm about to go.
right.
Who's gonna stop me? Okay, so what is the best advice you can give to anyone seeking the profits in pajamas lifestyle? And it may not be that they want to be in their pajamas. It may be something totally different, but just where they have that work-life balance?
Mhm. I would say definitely, if you haven't already, work on your mindset, because that is our biggest barrier. We live with our thoughts 24/7, and we are the only people that hear our thoughts all day, every single day. If you can reframe your inner voice, reframe how you're speaking to yourself, you're going to step into a higher version of yourself that's ready to conquer more than what you've already been doing. And that is going to not only elevate you on a personal level, but as a business owner as well. And when you start shifting your mindset, you start having new experiences, you start investing more, you start taking more risks, you start becoming more confident. And that is all going to elevate you and your business.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, mindset is so huge. Just whew. Like I incorporate it in everything I do, but I think people are like, I want to get to, and I'm like, but you got to understand if your mind is not prepped to receive it, it's not, you're not going to get the same result. So we do, mindset has to be a stronger emphasis.
Mhm.
Okay, so tell us about what you have going on in your world. How can the audience get in touch with you? Um, Let us know.
Perfect. So right now I have a free digital download that is coming out next month. So it's coming out the beginning of October. It is called Overwhelmed to CEO, and it is a free guide that's going to help you structure your day, structure your time in a way that allows you to fully step into your CEO role with ease, as well as give you tangible steps on how to fully structure your day so that you can achieve more within the hours that you're working.
I love that.
And you can follow me on Instagram at overwhelmed to the word TO organized underscore VA.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna have a link to the download. Are they gonna get the download or they sign up for your mailing list so they can get it when it
So
comes out?
yeah, so they can get it when it comes out. Mhm.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have those links in the show notes so that you guys can get there. I want you to follow Ashley. Definitely take advantage of that download. I hear that a lot. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like,
Mhm.
I wake up in the morning and then what? Especially when we're coming from a lot of times from a corporate job to where we had a schedule to now we have to make the schedule, and that might not be the easiest thing for us to do.
Right.
So, I think that that's gonna be a huge, huge help.
Yep. And I walk you through, there's videos in there that literally walk you through how to schedule your day and everything. So it's amazing. I can't wait.
So that is gonna be exciting. So make sure you guys sign up so you can get this when it comes out. So, October is my time of year when I start prepping for the new year.
Mhm.
So get everything together in October so that, when people talk about new year, new me, you already started. You're
You're ready
already
ahead.
on
Right.
on track for all of the things that you can roll it out January 1 as opposed to trying to figure it out in the month of
Right.
January. So that is going to be amazing. I want to thank you for being here. It was such a great conversation. I'm sorry for y'all toes. Y'all
Listen.
knew where y'all was coming. But I mean, it's lovingly. It's lovingly. It's
Yes.
with love. It's with love. We all have to have our toes stepped on if we want to continue to grow. And sometimes we have to challenge one another to get there. So I appreciate you being here. Just on my end. So October 1 is going to start the work with ease automation workshop. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you get enrolled because we will be starting on October 1st, and that's going to have recorded as well as live sessions so that we can work through getting some of what you're doing automated. So, you know, between me and Ashley, we're going to get you get some of
All
this
the way
time
together.
back.
Hello.
We're gonna get this time back so that you can stop saying, I don't have time. I don't have time. Let's get some of this time back. So that link will be in the show notes. And, there's also a link there if you need to book a discovery call, you want to, jump into having a coach and having someone to help you along the way with your mindset, with your business organization, all of that, with your confidence. We hit that a little bit. That's definitely an important piece that, sometimes we are not trusting in ourselves enough as business owners. So the link will be in the bio for that as well. So thank you again, Ashley, for being here. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys next week.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.